Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Tyranny of Dragons. I'm Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have...
Malamara.
Lansthalen.
And Fleeple.
And, as promised last week, we have a guest character joining us, but for now, we'll have the player introduce themselves. Why don't you go and introduce yourself for everybody here?
Hello, I'm Josh Lorimer. I play D&D. I'm here to play D&D.
And Josh is being modest, but Josh comes from a sneak attack famedom. Anybody else who's listened to actual play D&D adventures, he's the reason that me and Ned got into 5e D&D. We're wanting to record an actual play podcast. Josh, thank you so much for joining us on this next leg of our adventure.
He's a sneaky, sneaky titan.
It is my absolute pleasure to be here. Can't wait. I'm very excited. I love joining in on other podcasts and seeing how they do their thing. And yeah, big props to anybody that's like indie producing their own podcast. It takes so much work. So I love joining and jumping in. I'm very excited. And you guys have got a great cast. I'm so pumped.
Yes,
Thanks for having me.
We just played an improv game right beforehand, and Josh crushed it. And I think we're gonna have a fun time tonight. But last we left off a little bit on a cliffhanger. You had just recently popped into Neverwinter, all of you having the mission to go after Rezmir, get the Black Dragon Mask if possible, but at the very least to track her down and see what you can get out of her, capture her, defeat her. It was left up to your own devices, whichever you wanted to do. And as soon as you exited the structure which housed the teleportation circle, you found yourself on a bustling street in Neverwinter itself, and you found a figure, very shiftily, Fleeple did at least, very shiftily, moving away from the marketplace with a dagger with the exact insignia, shape, and size of the Cult of the Dragon. And that is where we jump into tonight's adventure. So, the Jhank Squad, Fleeple in particular, you see this figure some distance away from you, quickly, but trying to be sneaky about it, exiting to a direction northeast of your current location, away from the market.
So my gut reaction is to reach into my pack and find my own cultist dagger, but I'm looking at my character sheet and I don't think I have it anymore.
You stuck it into the dragon door.
Yeah, that's how. I broke it. I think. Oh gosh. So I have a moment where I'm like, oh gosh, where is it? And then I realize, wait, no, I don't have time to look for this. I need to go chase after this guy. Turn to my friends and I just elbow them both in the shins and point at my eyes, point in that direction, and put a claw in front of my mouth and go shh, and just begin moving in that direction.
Wait, Fleeple, wait, what?
And with Fleeple pointing out in that direction, you too see this figure, Lance in particular. Although you are in half-orc disguise with your disguise hat, you recognize somebody when they're trying not to be seen, and this person is very bad at what they're doing. But you see that that's probably who Fleeple is speaking of. Mal and Lance, as you both catch up with Fleeple and focus in, both of you now, with it being brought to your attention, can see the cultist dagger on this person. And so you're able to understand what's going on. And I assume if you're following Fleeple's lead, you follow from a distance, weaving in and out of alleyways, trying to be a little bit stealth. Why don't you all roll me a stealth check, please?
Ooh, boy, you got this.
Well, if we're doing roguey things, I got
roguey
rogue dice.
Okay, that is a modded 20 for Fleeple.
23 for Lansthalen.
Okay, and Mal.
11!
Hey, you're double digits!
Double digits!
All right. So, that is enough for all of you to succeed against this shifty character, so to speak, walking fast away from you. And you do keep your distance. You follow him for a good 10 minutes, and you just are trying to see where they're heading. And at one point near the end of this stalking session here, you have to stop because they walk into a sort of open field, an open area. Now, for our listeners and even for our players here, this is somewhat in the southeastern portion of Neverwinter. And Lance, without rolling any history, you remember this portion is where the great tear of the city was created, that was open directly to the abyss below, that has been since repaired, but left a gaping mark on the landscape. And this person is walking to that area. As you see him go quite a distance, as he's looking behind him, looking all around him, you see that there are tents a little ways in the distance, maybe 300 feet. And there seems to be a lot of bustling going about. And these tents, they're very large, they're very big, some of them, and some of them are very small. And on tents, I don't mean like sleeping tents, I mean like gathering areas. Not quite like the tents you saw at the cultist camp itself. Lance, why don't you roll me a perception check here?
Alrighty. Oh, it's actually not half bad. Perception, it's going to be 18.
With an 18, you see that there are quite a menagerie, maybe the right word, of individuals and creatures roaming about. You see these men lifting boulders that are about as big as they are. You see animals being carted around in cages. You see somebody walking on their hands instead of their feet, walking across. And
it's a circus.
It perhaps could be a circus.
The disdain in Jacob's voice.
It's a circus.
The circus. You don't know anything about the Neverwinter circus.
Oh, with scum and villainy. It's the circus.
And that person doesn't quite go to the main tent. They go off to a side tent, skirt aside from all of the individuals, and go into one of the smaller ones and throw open a flap and close it behind themselves.
Now, as we were tailing this individual, I hopefully would like to try and get enough of a sense of maybe what this individual looks like to be able to just like pick them out.
Absolutely, yeah. You for 10 minutes you were tailing them. It was kind of like in some glances, but they were human male. Pretty short, actually. Not quite circus level short, but below average for the human male. Maybe about 5'2". And very, very bright blonde hair. And just had a hunched back. And not overly hunched here, but, trying to, like, hide their body, hide themselves as they were quickly weaving through the streets. But pretty distinctive enough to where you could pick them out with maybe a little bit of time.
Okay. So, seeing that Lance is kind of surveying this area, taking in all the details, I once again elbow him in the shin and I say, "Lance Thalen, what do your elf eyes see?"
Oh, man.
Well,
is that the first time we've said that on this show?
Yep, that is the first.
That is. I appreciate it. I appreciate it beautifully. It is beautiful. Lance Thalen, as he's kind of looking about, will start to kind of describe what he sees, and he goes, "Well, it kind of looks like it's a circus." And you are very much catching. It's a very different accent because Lance Thalen was trying to disguise himself through this city as with his hat, and as with my ability, every long rest, I have now shifted a proficiency into the performance skill.
Well, it's a good thing we're at the circus then.
I know.
Maybe.
Lance is putting on a little bit of a performance to try and pass off this new person.
While he's looking around, knowing that the one guy went in the tent, and Fleeple and Lance are obviously much sneakier than Malamara, while Lance is surveying, she'll lean down to Fleeple's level, avoiding his now wings coming out of his back. She goes, Who has ascending stones? Why don't I take one of the ascending stones and you two can go after that guy and I'll just stay out here. Because there's no way I can get close to that guy without everybody noticing.
All right. And I'm trying to think, how old... We haven't established how old Lance is, have we? Well, I just always get the vibe that Fleeple is older in relation to Lance.
Let's
So
never
I look
reveal
at
his
him and
whole
I'm
age.
like-
No, not yet.
Yeah, I look up at him and I'm like, you're not old enough for a sending stone yet. Here, let me take care of that.
Oh,
You realize I bought... Okay. Lance is gonna... Yeah, he'll hand them off.
All right, so Fleeple and Lance, both of you are going to stalk towards this tent, correct?
Before I do, I'm just gonna turn to Malamar and be like, the last time we left you, things didn't go quite right. So you might want to stay put this time.
I'm just gonna check for other entrances or exits to the tent. Okay? I promise I won't go through any other doors.
All right.
So Lance and Fleeple, you approach cautiously, but being in the open, you have nothing to hide behind. So the only thing you can hide behind is your persona, is the fact that you belong, so to speak. So go ahead and roll me each a performance check.
Performance. You got this, sport. Hey, that's not horrible. That's a 22.
Whoa, that's way more than not horrible. That's way good.
I have a 21.
Oh, look at us!
So Fleeple, you start flapping your wings a little bit, and you just start like hovering. There are some creatures amongst here, so maybe you should try and act the part, act like a circus folk, so to speak, that you've heard about from Bevan way back in Greenest when he was talking about when the circus came through Greenest one of those days. And both of you make it up pretty well, and you're able to get up to the tent without any issue. Everybody sort of just nod to you, look around, and you hear people yelling. For this, for that, one person goes, "When can I see the Displacer Beast? I need it on stage in 5." And so you're able to slip away to this tent. Mal, you said you were going to try to see if there's anywhere else near the tent or in the tent. Are you still staying the 300 feet away, or are you going the other way?
Just casually making her way around the tent. I assume that if he went into one side, if he's going to run out, maybe there's another way. She's just going to activate her Eldritch Sight and just casually walk around.
So as you activate the Eldritch Sight, you look like the muscle of the circus, so to speak. And how far does Eldritch Sight see it again? That's detect magic.
It is.
A million
I don't have
feet.
that written down.
Probably. A million
That's
feet sounds
embarrassing.
adequate.
Hold on. I'm so sorry.
I
haven't detected for a while. I want to see 60 feet.
Okay. So you go to the other side just to be like, if there's some sort of escape, I'm going to be here to catch them. And Lance and Fleeple, how do you go about this tent?
Yeah, so Fleeple, with his surprising aptitude for performance, apparently is kind of getting into the role and trying to sort of match Lance's energy. I'm going to turn towards him and be like, all right now, Lance, you look a bit more normal than I do at the moment. How about you go in there, you do the talking, and I'll try and take a bit of a back seat.
Oh my gosh.
All right, how about we approach it this way? You are a new act that we are trying to sell, and I am your manager.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
You're a winged old prospector, apparently, and I'm going to get you into this circus one way or another.
I just want to hear Fleeple say, "Crime and Nitley, Trigger."
Crime and Nitley, Lance, let's go on in there to this here tent.
Son of a... Oh my gosh.
Now, before you guys can go in there, Fleeple, with your passive perception being 1,000, no, with your passive perception being 17, these characters inside, or rather these humanoids inside, did not roll low enough, and you start to pick up on their conversation. One of them, you obviously can't put voices to faces as you didn't hear anything, goes, well, I did what they asked. I just walked around. I don't like carrying this dagger in the open, though. I mean, we just joined a few days ago. What if somebody tries to take it from us? And the other person's like, I know, it's not ideal, okay? But really, this is going to get us on the right path. And look, you heard what they said. They were very persuasive. We just got to trust in them and trust in the glory that is to come. And the third one goes, yeah, I mean, it's all going to come together, and all we got to do is just pay our dues, and eventually we'll rise up to the top, and it's going to be easy breezy. I mean, look, we've got this. We've already got a prize for them here, and when we show them this, thing, they're going to be we're going to be jumping up to like at least 3rd level. Do they even use levels in the cult? I don't know. And so that is just part of the conversation you're picking up.
And my mind kind of takes me back to the Caldera when we were coming up with our sort of fake stories about why we decided to join the cult. And I'm like, oh man, these guys are total posers, but at least they're a lead. So I turn to Lance and I'm like, well, they got some kind of prize in there and I'm interested in figuring out what that is.
A prize?
Yeah, I mean, but the thing that kind of is throwing me off guard a little bit is they wanted to be seen with that dagger, it sounds like. So maybe we could come in with the angle of like, hey, we know what's going on with the cult. In fact, and I reach into my bag, and while I may not have my dagger anymore, I do have those cultist pendants. I've got one of the common ones and one of the fancy ones.
There you go.
I'm going to put kind of the more common one around my own neck, and I'm going to give the fancy one to Lance Thalen.
Well, and Lance Thalen will withdraw from his bag a ceremonial dagger, because I still have one.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, all right.
There we go.
Okay.
We're
Let's do some recruiting, Lance Thalen.
going to be dressed to the nines right now. We're going to go in here. All right, and see what they can tell us.
So both of you walk into the tent then?
Yeah.
I'm going to fly into the tent, thank you very much.
Oh, very nice. As you fly into the tent, and Lance, you walk into the tent. It's pretty... First off, it reeks. It's not like, oh my gosh, dead bodies. It's just like, wow, these teenagers haven't showered all day. There's just a musk in the air that is very unpleasant. And there seem to be a few cots in here, but barely enough room for the cots to even fit. There's like a small table with like a small bag of like peanuts and peanut shells littered all over the floor. Probably the free food that came with the circus, because every circus has to have peanuts. And the most interesting thing, however, is the majority of this tent has this cage. A huge cage with a white wolf in it.
Wait a second.
Oh, no.
Wait just a second. Okay.
As you fly in and you walk in, Lance Thalen, the wolf looks up at you. All 3 characters look at you, and one of them goes, "Excuse me, who do you think you are? Where are you just walking in here?"
And I kind of puff my chest out and show off that medallion, and I say, "Oh, representatives of Rezmir aren't enough for you?"
Oh my goodness. Guys, this is the real deal here. This is it. Oh, we're so sorry. And they all just fall to their knees and like bow to you. And the one who is like on the cot, just sort of like lounging, it takes him a while to see what's going on before he jumps to his feet and bows to you as well. And all 3 bow before you, while the wolf just stares at you too, and like sort of cocks its head.
I'm definitely scoping this wolf. It's very intriguing to me, but we've got some recruiting to do, so I'm just going to like keep the wolf in the corner of my eye. And, actually, I'm just going to directly address it and be like, "What is this fascinating beast you've got here?"
Oh, yeah. No, totally. We totally caught this thing roaming the streets. And we saw it turn into like this elf, and then it turned into this wolf again. But it's not a werewolf. Go ahead.
If he's letting that out, I would like to change shape. I didn't know whether or not he would give that information up, so I'm just going to turn into an elf. I'll turn into my elf form. I'll be like, excuse me, but that is private information that you were just sharing with everybody in the room.
And what do they... Josh, when you turn into your elf form, what do they see? Describe your character.
I assume any of my like weapons and things have been taken, more or less?
Yes, they have.
So I'm just dressed in some basic leathers, an elf that resides in the woods more than anything, long, flowy white hair, somewhat unkept. but the elegant, pristine face of a somewhat ageless-looking elf, rather perturbed, and kind of hands on his sides, a little disgruntled. At
kneeling in your cage, hands on your sides.
Yeah, just like, come on, guys. Like, I know I'm your prisoner, but like, it could have just been a wolf for a little while.
Yeah, I look at this wolf and I say, what? Humanoids turning into animals, such a preposterous idea. Never heard of such a thing.
With that, the initial shifty one said, wait a minute. What happened to your voice just then? What happened?
They are keeping me prisoner, please. They're going to sell me.
Wait.
What's going on? Wait, back up. Ned, did you come in with the performance, like, drawl, or did you come in with Fleeple?
So,
I forgot.
The first time I spoke to these guys, I spoke as Fleeple, completely forgetting that I was doing the southern accent.
Oh, wait,
so,
I would think that they're just more of the same at this point, right? I wouldn't think that they're here to free me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like, oh gosh, come on.
Yeah, I'll just sit there perturbed in my elf form. I won't beg for help.
We go back to Fleeple's line of such a preposterous thing. Yes. We wanted to get it for you. It's a very rare creature here. Not many. Oh gosh, it's hot.
Well, ain't this a bag of nails we got here?
And they finally see the half-orc behind them go, oh my gosh! And as you're got your hand on this dagger, they're like, oh, it just falls back to the ground as he's just like sort of taking deep breaths.
Breathe, boy, breathe. All right?
I'm breathing.
What does this wolf-elf transfiguration person have to do with your standing in the organization?
Well, you're always after, like, magical creatures and, like, magical power, and, as I was saying before, this guy, he transforms, not under a full moon, so,
I would thank you not to liken me to the lycanthrope, please.
Hey! And he goes over and, like, kicks the cage, and immediately grabs his foot because it hurt a lot, kicking the cage, and goes, ow! Just, you be quiet in there. You're our prisoner, okay? Ow, that really hurt, gosh.
And I approach the cage, like, flying pretty silently until I'm, like, right up behind this guy as he's not paying attention, and just say, so you want to be bought, then?
So you talking to me?
Ah, yes, you're telling us that you wish to be sold?
I wish to be freed. If you could free me, perhaps I could owe you a life debt. That's pretty nice. Things that elves do, I'm sure.
Well, and I turn to these teenagers and say, well, perhaps we can take this elf wolf back to HQ and see what the higher-ups think about him, and then we can use that to discern whether we wish to induct you fully into the organization or not.
The second walks up and goes, excuse me, we're the ones that are going to take this to our recruiter. I'm not going to have you come in here and snatch this from under our feet here, okay? Like, we're going to get the credit
to
here.
Our recruiter? Who's your recruiter, anyway?
They... frankly, we didn't get their name, but we have the place where we met them, okay? And we're going to get in touch with them.
Okay,
and,
we're going to get in touch with them. Where did you see the recruiter? North Neverwinter, okay, near the Pure Lake. And we were told that in order to be considered for the cult, we had a week probation where we had to openly and brazenly show our devotion, and they all show their daggers that have been on their hips, to prove to all of our friends and family that we are joining the cause, okay? And we are near that, and we have gone above and beyond, sir. Kobold, sir. And I just kind of go,
Oh, you met near the lake. Oh, you got the worst possible recruiter. I'm going to keep their name secret for their own protection, but goodness, you could really use a better recruiter, just TBH.
Oh, guys, I told you this was bogus, man. We're gonna get caught and sent to the police. We just captured this random elf dude.
I really feel for these guys. I'm trying to speak to the whichever one, like the kobold I suppose seems like the most important in the room, or whoever looks most important in the room.
That's definitely Fleeple for the moment. At the moment,
I'm sympathetic. It's a hard life being a hench person, but in truth, I unlock the cage. Maybe give me like 2 minutes alone with these guys, and I'm sure I can inform you about anything that they heard while they had me captive and help out. But I don't like having been locked in a cage.
Yeah, Mal, while this is going on, you actually hear some of these panicked screams, and you hear some of this conversation being about 60 feet away. And so you're just like, cock your head, and you're like, oh, they're taking a long time in there.
I mean, just between you and me, they don't really have a future in the organization, I'm sure. Like, this is probably as far as they go in your dragon party thing that you got going.
Especially if they stick with the person that is trying to recruit them. Goodness.
Sure.
Oh, gosh. Look, we're serious about joining the cult, okay? We know. Look, we're serious. We were gonna go down to Lottie's place in 2 days, and we've even, they pull something out, and they pull out a coin with just a massive, like, gold coin, a little bit larger than a normal, I almost said galleon, but a normal gold coin there, with a big L emblazoned on it. Like, we were gonna give these, okay?
Listen,
all right?
Listen here, Odd Stick, okay? Listen up. If you want to keep on living and be above the snakes, you have to give us everything you have on this cult, because whoever your recruiter was gave you a bad box information, okay?
Oh, gosh, guys!
Where are these aphorisms coming from?
They're coming from my 101 cowboy slang terms that I printed out.
Yes!
I would like. Is there legitimately a place where cowboys ever said, "Now we've got a box of nails" or whatever what did you call it?
Bag of nails. We got a bag of nails. Mm-hmm.
Which is like probably the worst container for nails.
Yep,
is a bag.
Yep. Well, a bag of nails means it's stupid. It's confusion. That's why I said, well, we got a bag of nails here.
I didn't put that together.
I can give you the translations.
That's great. No, we need a real cowboy here to so that we can understand. Can I roll a perception on the two newcomers to see if they're legit? I have ideas of what I want to do next as my character, but it depends on whether I should include them in the threat or not.
So with this, maybe an insight check might be a little bit more appropriate, trying to gauge like where they're at, like in their like, are they legitimate? Are they here? That cowboy sounds real convincing. So Fleeple and, oh my gosh, Lance, why don't you guys both roll a deception check here?
I rolled 23.
Whoa. And Josh, just so I can start using character's name, your character's name, which will be revealed, is
Ralph.
Ralph, gotcha. So Ralph rolled a 20. Rolled a 23. Fleeple?
That's going to beat my 6.
Lance?
Well, we're just pulling this off at the exact same time because I got a 6 too. We are right in sync with each other.
Oh boy.
So these two are convincing these teenagers, but Ralph, as you sort of like peer at them, you're like, oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah. These people aren't part of the cult. Maybe they are trying to save me. Maybe they're trying to jump in here.
So the big one hasn't talked as much. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Lance hasn't spoken as much.
And when he has, you can't understand these things he's saying.
Listen, ignore the children. We can deal. I can deal with you guys. Can I make like a gesture towards him? Just be like, come here, and let the kobold keep talking with them, but try and gesture for the big guy to come over.
I'll turn over to Fleeple and just say, my winged colleague, if you could kindly set straight these teenagers, and I will go talk to the prisoner.
I give a wicked little grin and say, nothing would please me more, and I turn towards them, and I just produce flame and hold a little ball of flame in my hand, kind of twirl it with my fingers.
The one teenager just is paralyzed, and then you see their trousers get a little bit wet, and that's all that they... And then the other two are like, Trevor, come on, man, come on. Get it together, Trevor. But Ralph and Lance, you are...
I'll kneel down next to the cage, just kind of squatting down, because I assume it's not a full-on cage where Ralph is able to even stand up. He's kind of almost crouched.
Yeah,
there.
Ralph is having to be on his knees for the most part, unfortunately.
Yeah, kind of like the knees in front of him, arms around his knees. Okay, hey, look, big guy. I know that these youths are foolish enough to think that what you and your buddy are doing is legitimate, but I can tell right out the gate, you guys are no cultists. If you were cultists, you wouldn't suffer these idiots as long as you have. And if I was of any, you'd clearly see that I'm of incredibly great value and be done with them and take me for yourselves. I'm guessing you guys are other bad guys or good guys, right?
I mean, that's a very big generalization either way. So I'm going to say yes, we fit in either of those categories.
6 of these, half a dozen of the other. So, are you here to rescue me?
I'll be honest with you. That wasn't the initial goal. But...
you slip it in there, tag it in on that goal?
We can make that a secondary objective.
Okay, cool. So, here's the thing. I'm a magical user. Love using magic.
I figured.
You can't tell from
that. Yeah.
Turning into a wolf
Yeah,
thing.
that gave it away. Yeah.
There is a magical sword named Jeremy. It's right over. It's with the rest of my where they got my stuff over there. It's a scimitar. If you could grab that for me, that would be. You get it to me. It's my focus. I will. I can just take care of everything here. Really button it up.
So you want
nice
me?
And easy.
You want me to get your sword, give it to you while you're in the cage, and
That'd be
then
great.
you'll button everything up inside here.
Like a button, like on shirts. Hook it all together, nice and neat.
Are you gonna kill them? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that'd be nice. It's been very frustrating being captured. But I mean, if you can torture them for information, or
I mean, they are teenagers. So I don't know if we're
Sure. I mean, I've known a lot of teenagers. There's not a whole lot that joined a cult to destroy the world.
That's
sure.
true.
Yeah,
but
that's
have you ever been to Neverwinter, sir?
Maybe once or twice. I know a few things about Neverwinter. I could maybe answer some questions, give you some. I could show you around.
I know Neverwinter, and I can say it doesn't set people right. So I'm willing to give these teenagers a little bit of a pass. Got drawn into the wrong situation, but we're gonna make them leak a little bit.
So we pan over to Fleeple. What are you doing with these teenagers to distract them?
I am reading them Mondath's horrible dragon poetry.
Yes!
Oh no.
Yeah.
I wish I was a dragon, woe is me. I would have huge claws on my feet. My teeth would be huge, yellow, and sharp, but I probably couldn't play a harp, woe is me.
Gold.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's keeping them engaged for sure. The one who's on the cot is like, man, I dig it. And the other two are just staring the whole time. Yeah, just snapping the whole time. And then the other two are like, gosh, I hope this guy doesn't kill us. Pan back to Lance and Ralph.
Do you know anything about, this is whispering obviously, do you know anything about the cult in which they're claiming to belong to?
Absolutely. Yes.
Inside check.
Okay, roll an insight check.
There's a man in a cage who wants to get out of the cage, telling me exactly what I want to know.
Without hesitation.
Absolutely, I do. Yes, I can give you this information.
What, before you ask the question, let me just tell you right now. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, he does.
That is going to be for insight. Oh, where's my insight? Insight's in a wisdom thing. Okay. That's going to be a 26.
I am being very honest.
You are. Oh, okay. All right.
Actually, I don't need to roll deception because I'm not lying to you.
I'm just going to say this straight up to you. I will get you out of this cage. Would you like to form an alliance?
Ooh. Like equal partners?
We can talk about the logistics of equality after you are out of the cage, but yes, potentially.
Okay. Because of that, I'm going to label you in the good guy group.
Whichever way the wind blows today, sure.
I have no leverage, and you just said we'll figure it out after I have leverage. So...
That reminds me of like a really bad Survivor alliance conversation. We're like, I feel like we should form an alliance. Anybody who's watched Survivor out there, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I can get you immunity, man. I can get you immunity.
We'll be the very last two.
I'll
we'll
flip
be the
the
last
vote
ones
for you.
to kill each other.
Final two. Final two, bro.
Final two. We can
Final
do
two.
it, man.
Bro. Final two. I want to be with a competitor, and you're a competitor.
Listen, if I can just make it to number 2, that's all I care about. I don't need to win.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
And then, like, in each side interview, we're both, like, just trash talking. Oh, I'm just taking him along. They're going to vote him out. He's like, oh, he's just a brain dumb. You know, he's brain dead.
Yeah, cut to the talking head. As soon as I get out of the cage, I will kill him first.
Go to the talking heads in the tent when you're in the cage. And I'm just off to the side.
The internal monologues of Ralph and Lance. Exactly that.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. I will, with our potential alliance formed, I will stand up, go over to relieve the poetry session, and I will just say, oh, beautiful. That was so beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye every time I hear it. Thank you so much, my
one
friend.
guy just goes, slam! Yeah.
Yep, you are a teenager. Okay. Listen up, fellas. I don't know who sold you this trick that you're trying to gain, being into a group, being into this cult, but I'm going to tell you, you got sold some bad yams here, okay? It's not working out for you. It's not going to be good, and I'm just going to be honest. I've already seen your skills, and that dog don't hunt, baby. You got to go home. You got a home to go to. Do you have a family? Do you have a mama? Where's your mama?
Tell us where your mothers are.
My mom is in the market district, and she's probably worried sick about me.
This ain't what she wants for you.
She was in jail or something.
My mom's in jail.
I thought we were learning where their families are so we could threaten them.
Oh gosh.
Listen, you need to go to your mama. You need to tell her straight up that you will be ace high from now on. That you will take that stall and you'll run it for her. Because I bet her feet are tired, son. She don't need to be standing up all day. That's you.
Yeah, he just nods his head with his eyes closed like, yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
I think
I will do that.
as long as my colleague here does not want to burn you alive in the spot, which he is fond to do, we can let you go as long as you give us the key to this cage and you give us everything you have associated with this organization.
So go ahead and roll an intimidation check, but with advantage. This whole conversation, Ralph and the bad poetry, I say that's a good, like, climactic moment to initiate the intimidation there.
You really kind of like send them through like an emotional roller coaster.
I did.
It's like,
I really did.
Scare them into peeing themselves, then read them weird poetry, then talk about their families.
I brought the emotional baggage with it.
Yeah.
Do I got this sport?
And then just mention like
Fleeple.
he might blow you into fire.
Yeah, I walk up behind him and I just like put one claw on each shoulder and lift myself up over his head, and I'm grazing. And out
with
of the
your
corner,
wings just flapping.
Yes, out of the corner of my teeth, I just whisper to Lance, "You got this, sport."
All right. That's a 14.
And Josh, that's guidance whenever a Fleeple does that.
Excellent.
14.
Excellent.
14.
Let's have these guys roll. Wow, terrible. The one who is just shaking goes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. second one kind of looks down at Shane, being like, yeah, okay, fine. I was just trying to be my own person, okay? But if we got bad information, I don't want to go down that wrong path. And the third one goes, yeah, okay, fine. I guess we can just go back, figure things out on our own, okay?
Right, and hey, you listen.
Right, thank you.
You keep your bazoos shut about this. You don't tell anybody else.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do that. And they're already handing over the daggers. They're handing over the bag with all of Ralph's stuff in it. And they hand over one of those coins, that coin with the emblazoned L on it.
I would like to chime in as they're leaving. I go, yeah, loose bazoos, kill dudes.
That's right. That's right.
The one who's just was into the poetry kind of looks back at you and just closes his eyes and nods his head, and he walks out of the tent. And as he walks out of the tent, Mal, you're right there, and the one who's all nervous just screams, "Oh my gosh!" As you're just standing there with your arms folded, and they slowly walk around you, and you just keep your eyes on them, and they just like give you a wide berth and run back to the city, all three of them.
When you were talking about this being a circus, I, in my human experience, feel like there are animals at circuses. Are there animals at this circus?
Yes, there are.
Or is it just like a thoroughfare of stalls and more like a fair?
Oh, let me tell you, we got this awesome wolf over here.
Is this Mickey to me, or is this Mal to the party?
No. This is a question for the DM.
Yeah, there are animals, not necessarily visible, but you do hear some animals in the distance, and you hear some carnies speaking about some animals that they've got to get ready or that they've got to train that are giving them a hard time.
So while the boys were in the tent gaining information, Mal remembered that she has another invocation which I have never actually invoked, which is beast speech, in which I can speak with animals. And in the spell it says that you can comprehend animals, and it has no range. So could Mal have just been standing outside the tent listening to the sounds of animals talking and communicating to each other?
Wow. Yeah. Absolutely.
I want to hear what the animals are saying.
I mean, I guess this makes up for you for only knowing Common instead of Orcish and all those other things, right? So, yeah, absolutely. So you're caught in thought when these three boys exit this tent, and that you almost like don't even notice them. You're just like really listening in on this intense conversation that two axebeaks are having with each other.
How's your 401k? It's looking pretty diversified. It's looking good.
I cannot believe Shelley said that to him. She should dump him.
Yeah, pretty much just being like, that lumbering owner over there. He just sits on me so long. Like, come on, give me a break. I wish I could sit on him. And the other one's like, easy now, easy. Remember, we breathe, and when we get angry, we chop stuff. Okay, we use our nose and we chop stuff. That's how we get that aggression. I know. I just want to. Wish I could chop him in half. It's okay. It's fine.
It's like a Daniel Tiger episode.
And a very intense
Daniel
Tiger.
And you feel so mad that you wanna roll.
Take a deep breath. Count to 4.
And count to 4.
It's okay to feel angry. It's not okay to hurt someone.
Got the little birds up in the nest waiting for their mom to come back, and they're just going, grown-ups come back.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Mal, that's what you were doing while this whole conversation was happening.
You're in the world of make-believe.
There you go. There you are.
This is turned from a Rune fan cast to a Daniel Tiger fan cast.
Yep.
It is.
Hey, we only go for quality here. Anything quality, we will reference it.
Oh, man. So, Mal, you are free to go into this tent, supposedly, and I assume you do once these three leave to join your comrades.
Sure.
And so all of you now, with Ralph, are in the tent. You have the key, you've got the daggers, and you've got Ralph's belongings, as well as that coin.
Ralph, this is our associate, Malamara.
Cool.
Malamara,
Nice to meet you. I'm Ralph.
This is Ralph.
Still in a cage, but it's all good.
Yes.
I am a majestic creature that has been held captive, and I turn into my wolf form, and I do like a hair toss.
Mel just shakes her head at the menagerie of NPCs that Lance and Fleeple keep picking up.
Yep.
Yes, and for anybody caring about beauty, you see that this wolf has a very... while Ralph's hair looks quite good and immaculate, that's also part of his wolf form as well. And he does the... As he shakes his head, there's just like this really long,
Wolfio.
Wolfio, that tuft that like curls perfectly over his face as he stands there in the wolf form.
That slow motion, like Prince Charming in Shrek 2 shot, hair flinging around.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Then I'll just gnaw on the cage.
But yes, all five of you, I'm counting myself, the geeky guy in the corner. All four of you are in the tent, seemingly not being overheard and to your own devices, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I look at this wolf gnawing on the cage, and I figure maybe we should probably let this guy go.
Yes. I will find the key, however they gave it to me, and go over to the cage and unlock it.
I'll take back my elven form when I step out of the cage.
And as you're walking out, as it's mid transformation, you turn back into your elf form, and you can finally stand.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. Just kidding. I've only been in there for like a week. So I grab my stuff, my bag, my blade, and I put it all in a ring.
It's very Mary Poppins-like. He pulls a bunch of stuff out of this bag. Seems to be a bag of holding.
Yes, it's deep pockets. I assume the blade probably wasn't in the bag of holding itself. But yeah, any kind of my accoutrement I pull out, put an earring on. Just kind of my garb is now complete. I am whole. And I say, thank you very much. Very much appreciate it. I am in your debt. Not a life debt, because I don't think that they could have killed me. But, you mentioned wanting to deal. I mean, I offered, but you were very much like, let's talk, let's negotiate after you're free. So
you're telling me I should have just accepted it right there?
I mean, you kind of had all the leverage while I was in the cage.
So you're saying because I gave you grace. Okay, dang it.
I mean, you want to work with me, you want to deal. I'm free now, so I'm happy to deal, but I think I should have some agency in the matter, at least.
With that, Ralph, Jeremy sort of like bumps into your hip a little bit and just...
I'm like, now, Jeremy. Not now, okay, please? I'm trying to get things... I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Are you talking to your sword?
Yeah, his name's Jeremy. I think I already told you that.
No, you told me the name. You didn't tell me that happens. You didn't tell me that you physically talk to an inanimate object.
Is there other ways to talk than
Does
physically?
Does it talk back?
I think my relationship with my sword is mine. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I want to say you're not wrong, but...
I mean, listen, I appreciate the interest, but I'm not asking about all of your things that you've got going on.
Exactly. I don't know why we're getting so up in arms about, like, talking and hearing weird voices and stuff. I mean, look at who we are.
I mean, you guys are clearly not the followers of the Dragon Queen, and you have all the followers of the Dragon Queen things. So, there's questions there, but I'm not asking. I don't need to know.
You know what they say, to defeat thine enemy, know thine enemy. Before you can defeat the Monkey King, you must drink from his magical fountain.
I think that's a Kim Possible reference.
What the Sam hell are you talking about, Fleeple? Okay.
So you want to defeat the Horde of the Dragon Queen?
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
Okay, it's another tick in the good guy box.
All right, so you obviously have dealings with the Cult of the Dragon.
I mean, I would use that term loosely.
Well, you have issues, let's say.
I have been dealt with by the Cult of the Dragon Queen, yes.
Is it just the teenagers or others?
I mean, bigger ones caught me, okay, than the little guys.
Really?
They were just
Where
giving
were
me.
they?
So,
Where were the big ones?
in the woods, that's where I kind of spend most of my time. But yeah, I mean, do you think they could have captured me? I mean, look at me. Come on. Me and Jeremy? No way.
Okay, you're putting too much mustard on yourself here, okay? Calm down. Take it down a notch, okay?
All right, taking it down a notch. How can I be of some assistance? They were talking about some leaders in the Dragon Queen. Is there anybody you're looking for I can help you find?
Yes, we are looking for someone by the name of Vandal.
Resmir.
Oh yeah, Resmir's bad news.
You know Resmir?
Yeah, I know about them.
What exactly do you know about them?
Yeah, they throw her name around quite a bit. Kind of an important person, right?
Very, very much so.
Is this your whole party? Just the three of you?
Yes, it's a surprisingly small party for a D&D group, isn't it?
Breaking the fourth wall there.
The geeky guy in the corner goes, yeah, it's balanced.
Thomas, I'd like to cast my 4th level spell that we talked about. Should I make that clear, or should we just keep it between us?
I've noted.
Okay, cool.
Zone of Truth?
Not Zone of Truth. That's a great
No, it's
spell,
Fireball.
though. I recently, fun fact, this is just nerding out a little bit.
Yeah.
Zone of Truth, one of the features is that the caster knows of every creature that failed or succeeded within the Zone of Truth.
Mm.
And so if there are hidden creatures in the Zone of Truth, you also would discover that they're there. So if anybody's hiding or invisible,
Zone of Truth.
Sneaky, sneaky.
it's like a secondary feature of that spell. That's really
a
cool.
nice feature of that spell, yeah.
Mhm.
But yes, noted, Josh.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Resmir, dragon person, correct?
To our understanding, yes. Where's the purple regalia?
Yeah. So I've got word that they're at a gambling hall. That's what they're talking about.
Do you know the specific name of the location?
And Josh, I didn't tell you, but yes, you would know, and it is what they mentioned previously called Lottie's Place.
In Neverwinter?
In Neverwinter itself.
Yeah. So Neverwinter, there's a gambling hall called Lottie's Place.
Would I be familiar with this place, Thomas?
Lance Thalen, yes, you would. In fact, you used to frequent Lottie's Place quite a bit.
Not a little, but a Lottie.
Oh! Josh, take a die of inspiration for that.
What? First night? I'm just kidding.
I am so inspired. Thank you.
I am so inspired.
But yes, Lance, this is a place that you used to frequent.
Yeah, I could help you guys find the place.
I do know where that location is in Neverwinter, but you, as you can tell, you know we have something to find. What is your stake in all this?
I mean, I point at the empty cage as like, you did me a solid. I may not be interested in giving you a full-on life debt, okay? But what you did for me was very valuable, and I'm very thankful. I mean, I assume it'd be good to help you out. Just, you scratched my back, and I'm gonna scratch yours. Do a little bit of good.
Yes, you keep talking about this whole life debt situation. Is this like a cultural thing for you?
So, I am a very rare form of elf. We are the Lithari. You may not have heard of us, but I'm not a druid. I'm not a werewolf. Goodness grief! I'm a fae. I'm a fae creature. I love the woods, and I live by my feels. You know what I mean? Very fly by the seat of my pants. It's good times, me and Jer. So, listen, if it's not this thing, it's another thing, and you guys seem cool.
When he says that he's not a druid, my flight kind of lowers a little bit. I'm like,
oh, yes, well, we are cool. We are very cool. We're a really cool group of people. So I think you're in the right moving along with us. So, I mean, I think it'd be really awesome to go to this gambling den. I've never been to a hall of vice and licentiousness before.
Oh, no. Fleeple?
Okay, Fleeple, rules for going to an establishment as such. Do not take out your pocketbook.
All right. That's the only one?
But you can gamble as much as you want.
That's one of the most important... No, shut...
I don't know what pocketbooks are, but, man, they've got all kinds of stuff that you can waste money on.
Do not spend money. Got it?
Well, that seems kind of counterintuitive to the whole point of a gambling den.
The gold pieces that the kids have, right? Those are from... Are some of those from this place?
And they just had the one. They just had the one, and it is from this place. In fact, Lance should have mentioned it previously, but you recognize it. Ralph, you do as well. Of the establishment, the emblazoned L on it, a little bit larger than a gold piece itself. But yes, this is from the location. So I assume that all four of you start venturing forth towards Lottie's place. Then
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Excellent. Yeah, if anyone wants to talk, I'll stay in elf form, but otherwise I'll turn into a wolf and I can scout around. And
is being a wolf in the streets of Neverwinter the best idea?
I mean, and I would like to cast Pass Without Trace.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I have a special thing where I can use that without using a spell slot.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
So nice. I'd like to just cast that and then in wolf form just disappear as quickly as possible from any of their views.
Great. And so as you ask that question to Ralph, he mumbles something under his breath, turns into wolf form, and almost disappears, and you see a tent flap. You all, the three remaining of you go, well, I guess we're off to Lottie's place. And that is where we're going to end this week's episode of I Cast Fireball.
Yeah.
Ooh, honey.
It's great. How many episodes have you guys ended by actually casting Fireball?
We've never
only
ended
cast
an
it once.
episode casting it. We've casted it once. None of us have
That's
it
like
in
naming
our,
a show
in our
Sneak
spells.
Attack and then never ever making sneak attacks.
Well,
We
none
have-
of our players have that in their spell list.
We have an Iron Stone that has it in it, but we don't have it in our spell slot.
I already cast. I
That's
cast
great.
it. We don't
And
even
Mel
have the
already
spell
cast it,
anymore.
so-
Oh, I thought it stays in. I thought it just recharges that spell every
Nope.
like.
I can.
No.
I've now put a spell. I put a spell into it, and I can use it as an extra spell slot. But no,
It's
it's
like
like charge.
Fireball.
It's the most like roll credits name for a podcast, like your guys' very last epic thing. You just go and end the show.
I cast Fireball.
It's, it's really good.
I could
would
gain
really
it if I
suck.
gained another warlock level, but
That would really suck if we're like just going to bed. It's like, can you take your night's sleep? I cast Fireball. Let's blow up the tavern. And that's our episode.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. I had a ton of fun here. Josh, big round of applause for Josh. Thank you so much for joining us.
Man. I'm so happy to be here.
Crushed it. It's so much fun what you're bringing to the table here, and we get you for more than just this episode. So I'm real excited to see how it keeps moving forward and how we're going to keep going on here. But everybody, players, thank you for joining us, and you listeners, thank you for joining us on this week's episode of I Cast Fireball. As always, if you like what we're doing, please leave us a 5-star review. It lets us know that you like what we're doing, and it gets us into other people's recommended feeds so that they can follow along on the fun adventure. As always, shoot us an email at icastfireball2020@gmail.com if you'd like to chat with us about something a little bit more in depth than just a review or anything on our social media feeds. But speaking of social media, don't forget to follow us, shout us out. hashtag us out on our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram feed with the handle at ICastFireball20. You can get sneak peeks of upcoming episodes, maybe character art of or inspiration art for Ralph here that Josh brought to the table, and maybe some secrets that are coming up that the DM has in store for our party. I just want to give a quick shout out to our sister podcast, Improv Tabletop, where Ned takes the wheel as the GM or the keeper and goes through many 1-month fate adventures or his ongoing Avatar Legends campaign. It's a ton of fun. It's wonderful. Don't forget to leave them a 5-star review when you check them out. Before we close out here, Josh, why don't you shout out what you've got going on?
Sure. So right now, the biggest thing I've got going on is the Titans of Altera. It is a 5e original adventure set in my own homebrew world, and it's basically me trying to bring Power Rangers and Voltron into a fantasy setting. But over the years, it's diverged to become its own crazy, unique thing. And right now, we're only really publishing like an episode a month, but it's kind of a labor of love. And I play it with my family. But yeah, you're welcome to check that out, the Titans of Altera.
Yes, go check them out. It's a ton of fun. Also family friendly. The big reason way that I found Josh was trying to find family friendly podcasting when there was very little or none at all when it came to D&D. So not only that, but if you can get your hands on the Sneak Attack series, that's, as we've mentioned many times before, that's what we got us to love 5e and doing an actual play D&D podcast. But everybody out there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But around the table, including Josh's character, we've got
Malamara,
Lance Thalen,
Fleeple,
and Ralph.
Let's keep that fire going, and we'll see you all next time.